Everyone, and welcome back to Ramblr feature videos. If you haven't seen any of our videos, my name is Drago, and I'm a machine learning expert here at Ramblr. And in these videos, we try to show you all the new cool features we keep adding to the platform, and also sometimes little tutorials, how to use them, how to get started. Today's video is actually pretty cool because I'm going to show you how we brought in the Segment Anything model version 2 or SAM2 from Meta into our pipeline. So basically, if you've been following any of Meta's research releases, or also just in general the like image and video segmentation space, you must have heard about either SAM1 or already the new SAM2, and how SAM2 is much more powerful in terms of being able to annotate, entire videos, right, or very large segments of videos. And there's a lot of cool demos running around. But here at Rambler, we brought this in into our already powerful platform to really get this model, get as much as we can from it, get it really into a proper production environment, right? And this is what I wanted to show you today. So how this is implemented, how it works, and also the results, right? So I'm just gonna take you to our again, back to our projects page. Again, there's this whole portal. It's explained in previous videos. So just check them out if you're curious as to the full features. So we're gonna go to this demo project, and here in our pipelines, I already have a pipeline I created before. And let's just take a look at how it works. So we're gonna go to the pipeline view first. So we've discussed how we have our system to find keyframes and prepare how the human annotates, right? And then we have this annotation and propagation steps that are actually still pending, because again they're not complete, because I wanted to show you the one example of them. And then there's the final steps of the pipeline to put everything together, which are actually that will run only when these other steps are complete, right? If we look at the details, you'll see that after finding keyframes, we found 3 segments here. So each segment um, has a few reference frames that we need to annotate, so usually 2 or 3, so that SAM2 can propagate, right? So grab a mask and the masks in those frames, and then propagate them through an entire segment. We're talking hundreds of frames, right? And the idea is that it also keeps these masks consistent, right? So that if there's a cup on the first frame, it'll be the same cup on the last frame, right? And there's 2 that are already complete, as you can see here, right? And there's one that's pending, which is the one I'm going to show you. So if we go to our tasks menu, you'll see there's one that's open. So we're just going to go for it. And we can see here the annotation tool loading. And we'll see on the side in this panel, right, there's 2 tasks actually, right, for this segment, right? These are the 2 frames that we're going to give SAM2 to take care of in this segment. So first is the frame 642, and then frame 712. So we're talking about a segment of over 100 frames, and we only need to annotate the 2 of them, right? So let's get going. So we're going to start the task, and then we're going to edit this frame, which is the first one, right? It's 642. You can see it down here. And okay, our model loads. Excellent. And now this is like our regular annotation platform. You've seen it before. This is we're just going to add masks for things. In particular, I'm going to grab here the left hand. And again, this is already SAM2 powered, but just in like single mask mode, right? We're going to add also this container that's being interacted with. And I can place the A to keep adding parts to the mask, right? A separate prompt, so then you can visualize it too. Press enter. This is a container. Cool. You can see there's also a bit of the right hand here. We're going to add it too, because again, hands are very important, especially in egocentric video. And it's interacting with the spoon, so we're going to add the spoon as well. And finally, something that's also very relevant in this particular video, I'm going to add this mixer, right? And again, I'm going to press A, so I keep adding to the, so I don't want it to recompute the mask, but just add extra mask, right? This is especially useful for these composite masks, right? Where we have, for example, here the cables, like super tricky, right? But we can add it in parts and then it's all good. Okay, so we have the cable, press enter, and it's a mixer. Now you'll notice how the objects were added here on the side, right? And then we're gonna say, okay, we're gonna save this frame. And now here comes the cool part, right? So we can go to our next frame, which is frame 712, and we're gonna go to edit frame, and look at that. It's telling us these are objects that were annotated in previous frames in this task, so in the one we just annotated, right? And we can tell SAM2, okay, these are the same objects, so you should keep them consistent. So we're going to add our container, right? Again, this is just fully SAM powered annotation. We're going to add our left hand. And again, this tends to happen with SAM, that it likes to, add all of the hands, but then we can just give a negative click here. So right click, and then we can keep it nice and constrained. We have the mixer, so we're going to add it too. Again, this is like we can do it in parts by pressing A. Add that part of the cable, and this part of the cable, and then the actual mixer. Cool. And just the last bit down here. There we go. Right, now we have the mixer. And you can see, well, of course, the right hand. And as mentioned again, tends to add both, or we can just tell it, nope, that is not the right hand, only this side. And you can see a little bit of the spoon, so we're going to annotate it nonetheless. Right there. See? And now there's consistency between these objects across these two frames, and turns out that then we're going to save the frame. We're going to submit the task. So we now finish. Cool. Great job. Success. We get this little notification here. And now it's telling me, right, that we have all the tasks complete. If you look at the pipeline, you'll see that annotation component is complete, and it's going to be running now mask propagation on this, right? And while it runs, it's fairly fast. We're going to go back to our pipeline view and back to our projects view. Just data set here. We can look at this annotation. So we're going to go to the annotation version that's demo 1 mask prop. So this is the results only of the mask propagation. And the thing is, you'll see there's already fragments annotated from before that cover the previous segments. And we can just run it, and you'll see that even though there's 2 or 3 annotated frames in this entire segment, which is until about here or so, things are annotated consistently, right? Look at that, like the left hand, there's the container that shows up for the first time, and now we switch segments, as you saw. So this is when you see the switching color. This is again a total of 6 frames annotated over hundreds of frames, and everything's just propagated consistently, and everything we care about, even these complex masks like with the cable and stuff, this is all just from 6 frames. And now we're getting to the last bit, right? The last fragment. There we go. And see, we switch colors, and this is our last segment that's actually already done. And you can see again consistent IDs throughout and consistent masks, right? So if we go back to our pipeline view, we can check here, right? It's running all the steps. It's running our ID stitching, right? So this is now, because we have these 3 big segments, right, that are all consistent within themselves, but now we need to put them together. And this is how we maximize sort of the performance of SAM, right? Instead of throwing arbitrarily large videos, we can segment them, make sure things are very consistent within the segments, and then we just need to fix the little boundaries in between them, right? And there we go. ID stitching is done. So we can go back to our annotation and we can look at the final annotation version. And there you go. Look at that. See, the object tracks are all consistent, right? So now the left hand is the same left hand across the entire video. So we can just start playing it. Wait for it to load a little bit. Needs to buffer. See, look at that. These are consistent IDs throughout, right? We have right hand, left hand. Container shows up as before, right? This is how powerful SAM2 is. And you can see here, this is just, an arbitrary video. We can add this. We can do this for any of your videos, any of your data, right? And again, fully consistent. Look at the quality of those masks. This is exactly what we're going for, right? And you can imagine now how this, can easily scale if you annotate 2 to 3 frames per segment, say 6 frames or so per video. You can annotate hours extremely fast. And this is fully incorporated in our pipeline. So you also will get then relations, you'll get scene graphs, you'll get activities, and everything in an exportable format. Also, again, remember from our previous videos, we also have our little chatbot here so that you can interact with your data and you get this thing as a whole package. But then, yeah, this is all I wanted to show you today. Again, if you have questions, if you have any ideas, just reach out to us. But otherwise, yeah, thanks so much for tuning in and see you in the next video.